Good day, everyone. On behalf of my group, it is with great honor and enthusiasm to present our marketing research paper entitled Strategic Marketing for BHI Holding Inc. Building Market Presence. This presentation is to be submitted to the Faculty of Business Administration Department and the Institute of Accounts, Business and Finance of Far Eastern University, Manila. Joining me with this presentation are my co-presenters, Ms. Arbison, Mr. Belaez, Mr. Jimenez, Ms. Regalario, and me, Mr. Sanchez, and Ms. Santiago, and lastly, Mr. Santiago. Before we begin, we would like to sincerely thank the panelists for being with us today and for taking their time to evaluate our work. Your presence is highly appreciated, and your insights will be grateful and great value for us as an aspiring young professionals. We would also like to we would like to express our deepest gratitude to our professor, Mr. Sopronio Dulay, for his continuous guidance, support, and encouragement through the development of this paper. In line with that, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge Ms. Mayet Santiago for endorsing us with Ms. Marivic Isla, who has generously shared her time and insights during our interview. Her contributions were instrumental in giving us the clearer understanding of the BHI Holdings operation and strategic decision making. With that, we are pleased to begin our presentation. Let us now walk through the executive summary of our study on BHI Holding Inc. BHI Holding Inc. is a Philippine-based investing holding company that has begun in 1963, a non-life insurance provider. After a series of transition, it has formally became an investment firm in 1999, shifting its focus on financial investment and an asset management company. Today, BHI Holding emphasizes stability, conservativeness, and trustworthiness, targeting institutional investors who value consistent and interest-based returns. The company's strategy is centered on low-risk lending activities, mainly related to the parties, while maintaining strong governance and risk control. Rather than pursuing speculative ventures, BHI positioned itself on a reliable player in the financial market. As shown on the slide, BHI Holding continues to preserve capital, strong control risk, and build its reputation through the prudent financial decision. It is also remains open on expanding its investment portfolio when favorable economic conditions arise, particularly when leveraging opportunities within the Philippine economy. In summary, BHI Holding represents a company that prioritizes long-term financial resilience over short-term financial goals. Thank you.
Current market situation. The Philippine investment holding industry operates within a highly conservative environment, with investors leaning towards stability and long-term returns rather than rapid growth. These companies are expected to uphold strict regulatory compliance and offer predictable income streams amidst economic recovery and infrastructure development. The sector shows signs of growth. Investors are becoming more confident, creating opportunities for well-positioned holding firms to expand or diversify their portfolios strategically. Industry analysis. The competitive landscape includes major players such as SM Investments Corporation, Lopez Holdings, and the Top Frontier Investment Holdings. These companies maintain their dominance through diversification, innovation, and strategic partnerships. In contrast, BHI Holdings Incorporated remains relatively quiet in the market, lacking both aggressive outreach and variety in its portfolio. Although the threat from new market entrants and substitutes is low, BHI must still navigate pressures from evolving investors' expectations and technological shifts. Competitive analysis, Porter's framework. Using Michael Porter's 5 forces, we can better understand BHI's strategic position. The industry presents low threats from new entrants and substitute products due to its specialized and conservative nature. The bargaining power of suppliers and buyers sits at a moderate level as BHI relies on professional services and faces a discerning investor base. Overall, competitive rivalry is limited, largely because BHI does not actively challenge its peers or seek aggressive expansion in the market. Porter's five forces. Threat of new entrants. New entrants face several barriers when trying to enter the investing holding industry. BHI has established a reputation for stability and conservative management, which appeals to a loyal group of investors. Additionally, regulatory requirements and the need for expert compliance and risk management deter newer, riskier firms from attempting to compete in this niche market. This makes the threat from new players relatively low. Threat of substitutes. The threat of substitute investments is minimal, though not entirely absent, while alternative investments like fintech platforms, private equity, and crypto assets are gaining traction. They often involve high risk and volatility. For BHI's target market, typically cautious, long term investors, these substitutes are not particularly attractive. This further reinforces BHI's niche but stable position in the market.
Presented to you is the Michael Porter's five forces for BHI Holdings Incorporated. The forces are threats to new entrants, threats of substitution, competitive rivalry, threats of bargaining power suppliers, and of suppliers. Continuing on, let's begin with the center of the model. BHI Holdings Incorporated is the focal point, and around it are the five forces that influence its competitive position. First up, we had the threats of new entrants. BHI Holdings benefits from strong brand loyalty, which makes it harder for new players to steal market share. Additionally, it operates in a low risk financial niche, reducing the threats of newcomers trying to break in. Next up, we have the threat of substitution. The potential substitutes include private equity and venture capital funds, alternative investment vehicles, and digital asset platforms. However, BHI's specialization and niche focus keep this threat low for now. For the bargaining power of suppliers, suppliers have limited influence on BHI. There's a high dependence on financial analysts and professional services, but the supply market is broad enough to reduce supplier power. For bargaining powers of buyers, buyers such as investors have access to multiple investment options. However, BHI counters this with transparent reporting, clear investment goals, and strong client relationships, keeping this force moderate. Lastly, for competitive rivalry, there's no aggressive competition in BHI's niche. They adapt a conservative approach and maintain a neutral view of competitors, further minimizing direct threats. The competitive profile matrix evaluates each company based on the critical success factors set out by the researchers as important factors for investment holding companies, weighed according to importance and rated from 1, which is the lowest, to 4, which is the highest, with the final score giving an idea of each company's relative competitive strength. The competitive profile matrix found that SM Investment Corporation leads in all critical areas, especially in innovation, governance, and strategic partnerships. BHI Holdings Incorporated scores lowest overall, with its strength lying solely in risk management, which indicates a significant gap in BHI's market presence, diversification, and innovation compared to competitors.
Consumer perception positive. Conservative investors appreciate BHI's long-standing credibility and commitment to low-risk, long-term returns. Since its establishment in 1963, the company has upped lean operations and capital preservation strategies, which provides a sense of security, especially during times of economic volatility. For those focused on stability and compliance, BHI remains a trusted option. Consumer perception negative. On the other hand, BHI is often perceived as passive and outdated by younger or more dynamic investors. Its lack of innovation, absence from digital platforms, and minimal public engagement contribute to a view that the company is stagnant. It also doesn't cater much to retail investors, which further narrows its market appeal. This perception may hurt its ability to attract a new capital in a rapidly changing financial environment. Pestle analysis. BHI's operations are affected by several external macro-environmental factors. Politically, stable governance fosters investors' confidence but requires consistent regulatory compliance. Economically, growth opens up new investment opportunities. Socially, shifting investors' priorities now emphasize sustainability and innovation. Technologically, advances in fintech push BHI to consider digital upgrades. Legally, there's pressure to meet evolving standards. Environmentally, there's growing expectation for firms to align with sustainable practices. These factors all suggest BHI must adapt to remain relevant.
About the company profile, PHI Holdings Inc. is an investment holding company based in the Philippines, dedicated to the establishment of long-term stakeholders' value through strategic investment in potential and profitable businesses. Believing in the sustained expansion of the Philippine economy, the company sees a very bright future in the real property market and other up-and-coming industries. Founded on the fundamental values of focus, hard work, integrity, and opportunity. BHI Holdings Inc. is governed by the strong conviction that good corporate governance is critical in its pursuit of mission. With visionary leadership and the unwavering guidance of its board of directors, the company aims to persevere through challenges and continually develop into a more robust and resilient organization. Though the current activities are restricted to interest income from loans extended to a related entity, BHI Holdings Inc. is proactive in evaluating available investment opportunities and is ready for expansion in the future as the market offers promising conditions. For our mission, vision, and company values, BHI Holdings Incorporation expresses full confidence in the continuing growth of the Philippine economy and envision a bright future for investment in a real property within the country. The company affirms that sound corporate governance is essential in fulfilling its mission to create value for its stockholders and to generate business investment that will benefit not only the company but also the investing public. With the vision and leadership of management, along with the steadfast support of the board of directors, BHI Holdings Inc. is confident in its ability to overcome every challenge and achieve success as it continues its transformation into a stronger organization. Like what I said earlier, the company upholds the values of focus, hard work, integrity, and opportunity. So, for our company history, BHI Holdings Inc. was initially incorporated on January 23, 1963 as Consolidated Insurance Corporation Inc., a non-life insurance firm. Through the decades, the company had a succession of ownership transfer that reorientated its mission and focus. So, majority stakes owned by a group management corporation were sold in 1992 to Metropolitan Management Corporation. In July 1995, Metropolitan Management sold its majority interest to Westmont Investment Corporation. By May 1997, Metropolitan Management and Westmont divested their interest in favor of Bulk Holders Inc., which took around 91% ownership of the company. A significant change took place in 1999 when the board of directors sanctioned the assignment of the insurance business of the company to CC General Insurance Corporations. Ever since, BHI Holdings Inc. has been oriented towards exploring profitable investment opportunities while ensuring good administrative operations. At the close of 2013, the company's staffing is streamlined to reflect the limited but targeted character of its business activities. Nevertheless, management is cautious and proactive in looking for potential opportunities for reviving and expanding its invention portfolio. The company's location is at 22th floor, the Pearl Bank Center, 146 Valero Street, Salcedo Village, Makati City.
So for our opportunities and issue analysis, we have here our SWOT analysis. BHI Holdings Inc., established in 1963, has a solid reputation, a stable income from related party loans, and a conservative financial approach backed by strong governance and control over key assets. However, the company has limited active operations, relies heavily on related party income, and shows little pursuit of new investments, making it vulnerable to economic shifts. Opportunities include reactivating investments, forming strategic partnerships, and diversifying its portfolio to support future growth. Threats involve economic downturns, global crises, regulatory changes, market volatility, and competition from more aggressive firms. In summary, BHI is stable but must act strategically to grow and stay competitive. The key success factors of BHI Holdings Inc. is driven by five key factors. First is the conservative financial strategy. The company focused on low-risk investments, primarily interest income from related party loans, ensuring steady cash flow and protection from market volatility. Second is its strategic partnerships and investments. By forming selective partnerships and seizing favorable market opportunity, BHI Holdings enhances its portfolio and grows asset value over time. Governance and leadership. Strong leadership and sound governance support long-term stability, regulatory compliance, and responsible resource management, building investor trust. Fourth is the asset diversification. Effective asset management and diversification reduce risk and create a more resilient financial foundation, enabling BHI to adapt to market changes. Fifth is the regulatory compliance and risk management. BHI emphasizes strict regulatory compliance and strong risk controls to maintain credibility and avoid legal or financial issues. These factors collectively support BHI continued stability and potential for strategic growth.
BHI Holdings is a specialized investment company focusing on institutions and individuals seeking stable, interest-based return. According to Kotler and Keller 2016, its target market comprises clients looking for safe financial income. Current target markets involve institutional investors like pensions, insurers, or banks seeking low-risk stable returns. It also includes related parties receiving secured loans. Next is product segmentation. It is a low-risk loans and capital investment for institutional and related parties clients. Next, we have a proposed market segmentation. This involves investor sophistication, which belongs to beginners, intermediates, sophisticated investors. Second is the investment purpose, which is capital preservation, income generation, wealth accumulation, and last is goal-based investing. Third is the client demographics and relationship preferences. Next, we have a proposed new target market. This involves young professionals, 18 to 35 years old, which is tech-heavy investors preferring digital and accessible platforms. Next is a small and medium enterprises. This involves businesses seeking secure investment and surplus cash management. And also we have a key considerations. This involves maintain conservative risk philosophy and last, build trust and long-term client relationships. To summarize the positioning statement, BHI is a conservative Philippine investment firm providing stable, interest-based returns, prioritizing capital preservation for institutional and related party investors. Key marketing strategies. First is the product. Equity investment with stable interest income plus growth potential, which is trust through transparency. Second is the pricing. Flexible. Cost plus premium or penetration based on market responses. Third is the promotion. Targeted digital, traditional outreach, which is highlight trust, opportunity, and long-term value. Fourth is the distribution. Direct institutional deals plus selective channels for exclusivity.
In conclusion, the marketing plan for BHI Holdings Inc. synthesizes a comprehensive analysis of the company's strategic position as a conservative, risk-averse investment holding entity within the Philippine financial market. The research highlights BHI's strength, rooted in its historical legacy, governance excellence, and stable revenue model focus on interest income from related party loans. However, It also recognizes limitations such as limited active operations, lesser market visibility, and dependency on niche segment of institutional investors and related parties. Given the macro environmental challenges and competitive landscape elucidated through the Pestel and Porter's frameworks, the marketing plan recommends a cautiously optimistic approach towards future growth. Proposed segmentation and targeting strategies suggest broadening the client base to include young professionals and SMEs without deviating from the core conservative risk philosophy. Key marketing strategies center on transparent governance, trust building, and stable income positioning. Thus, the conclusion underscores that while BHI Holdings is currently positioned as a stable and secure investment option, deliberate efforts in market expansion, strategic partnerships, and digital integration are imperative for sustained competitive relevance and long-term growth. This balanced approach ensures resilience against economic uncertainties while capitalizing on emerging opportunities. Ultimately, the plan serves as both a strategic guidepost for BHI Holdings and a reflective frameworks for researchers assessing investments and holding companies in emerging markets.